Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thanks to the organizers for having me. This is my first PyCon Canada, so I'm super excited to be here. Also, this talk stems from a 45-minute version of that. I have 10 minutes today. Let's get this party started. No, I'm not going to rush through that. I'm Markus Holtermann. I'm a Django core developer since 2015. I'm also a member of the Django security team. And in my day job, I work at LaterPay, which is a payment as a service micropayment gateway for digital content, digital goods. And to get into this topic of the talk today, can I get a show of hands who of you uses or used to maintain a library that's an open source library? That's 25%, I guess. Can I also get a show of hands who of you uses or used to use Django? Nice, that's even more. So if you use Django, you might have seen an email like this. Essentially, this is a notification email we send out when the Django team releases a new security release. And this talk about today is about how we get to the point that we can send out such an email. And it all starts with an email, with a reporter sending an email to the security@djangoproject.com security email mailing list. And while we can't guarantee that you get a response within 24 hours, you probably get an acknowledgement within this time frame. If you haven't gotten a response within 3 days, you probably want to reach back or get back to us again, so that we can make sure, or that you can make sure that we actually got your email and didn't miss it. Apart from that, if you're reporting a security issue to us, please, under no circumstances, communicate that to anybody else outside the security team. The security team will eventually take care of public disclosure and so on. And when we got the security issue, the report, we're going to assess the issue. And this assessment will involve you as a reporter. So it doesn't make sense for us to only look at the code from our perspective. It's your perspective that's brought this issue to our attention. And as such, including you in the discussion is a crucial part of the entire process. Figuring out what the actual issue is one step, but then it needs to be fixed. And there's essentially two parts here. Either you or we are writing the patch. But writing a patch for the Django is often, well, a general patch for Django these days is often a bit hard, and you need to get into a lot of things actually in order to actually get something done. Mostly because it comes down to backwards compatibility. And with security issues these days, we go with preferring to have a secure Django project and the secure Django version over a backwards compatibility. So often fixing a security issue in Django comes with checking one more thing somewhere. And if this means we need to really sacrifice backwards compatibility, so be it. We don't like that, but if it comes down to that and there's no other way around that, well, let's go this way. So we have this patch, and we need to verify that. If you wrote the patch, great. Thank you for your contribution. We will acknowledge that. But it needs to be verified. And this is then going to be done by somebody from the security team, or pretty much, well, everybody on the security team who has time to do so at that time. If you weren't able or didn't have the time to contribute that patch, which is fine, then somebody from the security team will write the patch. In that case, however, we are going to reach out to you as a reporter and try to get your feedback on this patch. Is this really fixing the problem that you reported? Or are we missing something? And this is a very important part in the overall process. Even with multiple people confirming that the patch actually works, it's a security issue, and if we miss something in a security patch, it might open more doors, or it might just not fix the issue fully or to the full extent, which then can lead hackers to, well, exploiting that issue on all sites that use Django. Following the patch, we're going to send out pre-notification emails to a bunch of organizations and vendors and maybe potential individual users. The list of organizations and vendors we will not make public. It comes down to vendors of downstream Django versions and organizations having heaps amounts of private or personal data of people. The individual people depend mostly on when they provide third-party libraries to the Django project, and their packages are directly affected by the security issue, it makes sense to coordinate a security release with them. Aside from that, with these detailed information, we will send out a notification to the Django Announce mailing list, which includes a time frame when we will make this release public, so that you as a company are able to have people available at that time to assess if the issue is severe for you and if you need to fix it now, or if you may be able to delay it until the next day. About a week after the pre-notification, we send out, or we cut the release. That means we are going to commit the patches that we send out on the pre-notification to the release branches, which means at this point the security issue has been publicly disclosed. After that, the releasers team is going to cut a release and publish that on PyPI and our service. We will also announce the security release on our blog, which will also contain CVE, or common vulnerabilities and exposure number for every single security issue in there. CVEs allow you as a user of Django or user of any other library to follow up with your downstream vendor and check against their CVE database if they fixed that corresponding security issue. If you use Django from PyPI or from our website straight away and you use the last release, you will have this latest version. If you use Django from whatever Linux distribution or so, you want to check with their CVE database to see if if they fixed the issue yet. Now, given this process, how does that apply to you as somebody who maintains or may maintain an open source library or program? Well, it comes down to a few bullet points, actually. First off, please set up a communication channel people can reach out to you and make clear what the communication channel is. Something like, if you think you found a security issue, please get in touch via this email address, and please name the email address there, not via email. That doesn't help anybody. They still need to figure out what this email is. Don't let somebody who wants to help figure out how to reach you when it comes to security. It's a crucial part. Make it as easy as possible for them to get in touch with you. Also, monitor this reporting channel. I think that goes without saying. Having an email address there that you don't check on a whatever basis, regular basis, doesn't help anybody. I understand all of you or most of you are going to maintain this library in their free time, which is fine. Thank you for all of you who do so. You don't have to spend 24 hours and 7 days a week on maintaining and fixing this issue or fixing this library. Have it live besides open source. But tell people that you may need a week or month, whatever, to reply to those requests. Also, communicate with the reporter when you fix the issue and make them or ask them to verify your fix before you make this fix public. This is a crucial part to actually fix this issue before and not have it reported publicly. And then, well, release and announce this security release. Again, please communicate a way how people can subscribe to these security updates so they can be notified about releases. And a suggestion from my side is to generally report to the OSS Security Open Wall email list, which is essentially a list of all kinds of security issues that happen on pretty much every project that's out there. And then lastly, for your own sake, accept the fact that you had a security issue in your library or program. We are all humans, we all make mistakes. It happens. Django has, since its beginning, requested about 60 or more CVEs. So even if there's a heap of developers looking over this code, there are still going to be mistakes. Learn from this mistake, try not to make it again. On that note, there's a OWASP, the Open Web Application Security Project, that publishes a list of top 10 security issues or security things you want to look out for when you develop web applications. And yeah, this is sometimes considered somewhat of a business focus these days instead of tech focus, but have a look at it and decide on your own. It may give you some interesting information that helps you not make certain issues. Thank you.